Good morning, good morning. Just give me a second. That started before I was ready for it. This morning, conventional wisdom says that your CV should be about skills and about function, about the job that you've done, the functionality of the job that you've done. Well, what if I told you that skills-based CVs aren't worth anything? Well, this is James Foster and Careers Matter. So, well, it's almost true that. So let me dig down on that a little bit further and explain a little bit clearer. Skills, if you're leading your CV from a skills-based perspective, this is the skill I have. This is the experience I have. This is what I do. You know, what I do on a daily basis. This is my function. So easy for me to talk about project management. It's something I've done before, so I'll do it again. If you are a project manager and you talk about how you run a project, I run a project by starting at the beginning of the life cycle, looking at what the requirements are for the project, building those requirements into a plan, blah 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 blah. Then you're not telling anybody anything that they don't already know. They that's the sort of information that is not adding any real value to your profile. The process of project management is well documented and anybody can go and read it. You don't need to tell people what a project manager does. They know what a project manager does. They may in interview want to dig into your level of and depth of experience around the project management life cycle, your understanding of the Prince2 methodology or whatever. That's an interview situation. You're talking about your CV. The fundamental job of your CV is to grab people's attention and get them to want to know more about you. And that is not generally done from a skills and functions base. Now, there are exceptions to that. And I know that there'll be people that will listen to this video and go, but my CV is perfectly good. It's got me all the jobs that I want. The facts of the matter are that your CV isn't getting you the jobs. It isn't the CV, it's you. You are getting the jobs, and you're getting the jobs because the skills you have are in demand and short supply. And from that perspective, a skills-based CV will actually help you. Where you have a market that is highly in demand and very much short in supply, then advertising the specific skills that are relevant to that market will grab attention. Of course it will. So I'm never going to tell you that skills are not an important part of your CV. What I am saying, it is not the bit that really sells you, unless there is that that occasion where the skills themselves are in demand. And it isn't then the fact that you have done those skills, you've still got to sell yourself with what you have achieved with those skills. You really do. Even if, so what happens on occasions is somebody's going, I need this skill. You get 2 or 3 profiles come in that have got that skill. Those people get interviewed. They then sell themselves in interview. That does happen. So on those occasions, a skill-based CV may get you noticed, but generally that isn't going to be the case. Skills, if your profile is not, if you're in an area that is not particularly in short supply of the demanded skill, shall we say. So you're a project manager. That's a very classic one. You're a project manager within telecommunications. Yes, we've got it down to a relatively fine niche, but they're not short supply people within that area. So your CV is not going to stand out to say, I've got Prince2. So what? I've managed these projects. Yeah, okay. But what did you achieve in managing those projects? That's where the sales comes in. What problems have you solved? What difference have you made? How have you stood out from the rest of the potential applicants for that job? What is going to get you to look different to them? So I'll go back to conventional wisdom again. Conventional wisdom says that we write a skills-based CV. We don't. And frankly, this really applies to all jobs, all types of job, all levels of job. You are there to solve business problems, whatever that is. Is something that you'll know better than me for your particular area of expertise. But you're there to solve business problems. You're there to take away issues, pain. You're there to make people's lives easier. You're there to make business happen more effectively. You're there to win customers. You're there to manage effectively accounts. You're there to provide the voice of the customer. You're there, whatever it is. The difference that you make is how you've applied the skills, what your experience has done and achieved with those skills for your customers, the company that you've worked for, whatever the environment, on the particular project that you've worked in. That's what sells. That's what gets people really sitting up and taking note. If you go on to Google or any of the other search engines and do a quick search on CVs, you'll get a load of templates that come up. And if you have a look at those templates, they all lead with skills, or virtually all lead with skills. Some of them will put a profile in, some of them may have a little area to put the odd achievement, but they're all focused around this notion that people are interested in our skills. And so everybody has got it in their mind that that's how a CV should be written. The CV should be written based around what you have achieved and the value that you bring to a potential employer, nothing else. The skills have got to be within it. You have to talk about that. That's part of the features. If you remember my presentation from the other day where I talked about features and benefits, they are part of the features that you have to offer. But and certainly to get your CV to the top of the pile, you need to include the right phraseology and the right terminology within your CV for sure. So if the requirement is for somebody that has got a Prince 2 qualification, you've got to say Prince 2 in your CV. I've got no problem with inclusion of skills. What I have the problem is with leading with skills. You lead with achievements. You lead with what people will buy, which is the value you have to offer, which is the difference you can make in their organisation, which is what you can do to make their life a whole lot better. So, short one today. This is James Foster, and Careers Matter.